folks, Ealer here. I've got a replay that is dedicated to the viewer, the Excessive One, who asked me quite a while ago for a Kremlin replay, and I have not been able to put one together until now. So, the Excessive One, I hope you enjoy this match. This is courtesy of uDemo, who has had, I think, at least one of his replays featured on the channel before. He is in a domination match on shards with lots of battleships and cruisers. His build, he is still working on developing his commander, having used only 10 of the 13 commander skill points. He's probably working towards a tank build, and Demo is going to work on the middle of the map for at least the first half or so. Going to set up camp here in a very popular spot that's on the west side of the Bravo cap. It'll provide some very good torpedo protection from opposing ships that may be sending torpedoes into the Bravo cap, and allows ships to fire on opponents that are moving north or northwest toward Alpha, or potentially coming out of Alpha. So this is a very common spot that I see battleships take positions on. Provides a very good anchor position for being able to defend a flank. And although I did start the replay a couple of minutes in, the opposing team has already claimed first blood by taking out the allied Tashkent. I think that was at the Charlie cap, or maybe that was at Alpha, I don't remember. But the allied team is already down a ship, and we're really not that far into the game. In fact, the allied team is going to lose the Missouri here quite soon. We'll see his name pop up as well. Demo gets a nice Citadel hit on the opposing Montana, and the allied Alsace was looking to get in on some of the same positioning that Demo had, and ends up running into him, which is not very convenient. Demo is looking, I think, to move forward here and try to get some shots on this opposing Jean Bar that is pushing up from the south side of the map. And right now he can't fire on him. He is going to fire on the Georgia, who's quite angled. But then I think he had intended, or Demo had intended, to try to get some shots in on the Jean Bar. In fact, there I mentioned the Missouri. The Missouri has just gone down. And so the allied team is already down 2 ships. And only one cap is being contested, and that's Bravo at this point. It looks like Demo's not going to be able to creep far enough forward here. The terrain indicator says that his shells are not going to clear the terrain, so he's going to put shells again in on the opposing Georgia, who looks like he's backing up. Yeah, it does look like it. So the tactical situation, again, isn't very good here at all. The allied team is going to get overrun at the Alpha cap. They are quite underrepresented there. Their position at Charlie, frankly, is quite poor, because they're all sort of congested in the very top northeast corner of the map, and they can't see anything. There are literally half the opposing team is at Charlie, and until just a moments ago, they couldn't see any of the ships. So the allied, in fact, the allied team has now just lost the uDemo, that their allied uDemo that was contesting the Bravo cap. So the situation is deteriorating very quickly. Demo's going to get in a almost 20-kilometer broadside shot in on the opposing Hindenburg. He is going to land a Citadel here, which is pretty nice at that range. The Soviet battleships have the reputation, or are supposed to be, much less accurate at beyond mid-range, although with these 457 millimeter shells, it doesn't take much in order to get a decent pen, even if you only land one shell. And now the allied team has lost the Neptune, so they're already down 4 ships to the opposing team's none. Although the opposing team is going to lose a couple of ships here fairly soon, but the situation is really poor. The opposing team has now again taken Charlie. In fact, I mentioned the opposing team was going to lose a ship. They just did lose the Hindenburg that was on the south side of the map. And Demo is looking to reposition. He doesn't want to be torpedo ambushed by the Kitakaze, which thankfully the Alsace was able to take out, but the Alsace has now been taken out by, I believe, the Jean Bar. So the middle of the map is basically just going to be Demo at this point. Demo's going to creep forward here, and he is going to be able to get some shells in on the Jean Bar and finish off the Jean Bar. So first kill of the game, up to about 46,000 in damage, and the Allied team is, taken out 3 ships, but they still have a 2-ship deficit. Their positions on all of the caps, frankly, is terrible. They're not in a position to contest any of the caps. In the south at Alpha, the 2 cruisers are not in a position to be able to push in and attempt to cap. There's too many opposing battleships in that area. The opposing Yamato, or the allied Yamato, I'm sorry, is basically pushing himself out of play as well by just cycling away from the Alpha cap. So the opposing team has a very good position, or very good situation at Alpha to be able to move in, take that cap. Like I said, they have taken Charlie. Now, with all of this being said, the Allied team has now at least even the ship count. So there are definitely situations I've seen where a team will get a very early lead. This is a beautiful broadside shot, although no citadels, but he does land 6 of the 9 shells on the Georgia. But I've definitely seen lots of games where one team will pull out to a significant lead, but the opposing team will have enough patience to be able to regain control. But in this particular match, that's going to be very difficult to do because of the positioning that the Allied team has. The Allied team has now lost another ship, so they have another 1-ship deficit. There's another very long shot on the Zhao, but just a little bit behind, so he doesn't make any connections. Now that the Allied Hindenburg that was over by Alpha has been taken down, so it's only the Allied Zhao that is in the south, and he's having to retreat against 2 battleships, so he's in no position to be able to contest the cap. In fact, if I were the Zhao, I would hope I could get into concealment and reposition and hold fire. The Allied team has now lost its Montana that was up by the Charlie cap. So Demo is calling target on this very low health Zhao, at least try to get some points back. In fact, the Allied team is down to 40 points, so they lose 1 more ship, and the game is over. So it's really important here to try to get the kill here. Demo's going to line up. He only needs to get a couple of overpens on the Zhao. The Zhao goes into concealment, but the shells are already out, and Demo is going to connect and not only take out the cruiser that was in the cap, but he's going to get some cap defenses. So they're down to a 2-ship deficit, but they have no caps. And the opposing team is now, again, they are definitely going to get Alpha at this point. I don't expect that the Zhao is able to put any reliable... Well, he is putting fire on the opposing Montana that's in the cap. So he may be getting some cap resets. Yeah, it looks like he did. But he is eventually going to go down. He just doesn't have enough health. He only needs to end up taking a pen or a couple of overpens, and he's going to be finished off by either the Georgia or the Montana, and there he does end up going down. So now, for sure, the opposing team is going to take the Alpha cap. Bravo cap has been contested again. I don't remember what ship is in there. I think it's one of the cruisers, but the opposing team is going to get Bravo as well. So the Allied team is down to 25 points. So again, if they lose 1 more ship at this point, the game is over. Obviously, I wouldn't be showcasing this match. If that were to happen, that would make for a really dull match to showcase. So we'll have to see how things pan out here. Now, Demo, in my opinion, is making absolutely the right decision here. I think he was hoping to try to stay in concealment until he could regroup with a couple of ships that he had, a couple of allies that he had that are on the north side of the map, because there's just 3 of them at this point. And it does make sense in these situations to consolidate forces, make sure that you're focusing your fire, and really concentrate on taking down each ship one by one as best you can. Looks like Demo's trying to find a target of opportunity. The Montana is probably not the better choice. I think his intention is to go after the broadside Yamato, or maybe he does end up sending on the Montana. Oh, here is the broadside Zhao. That's right. This is his target. And 457mm shells out. And one devastating strike delivered. So very nice. In fact, right before he fired, the Allied team, or right as he fired, the Allied team took out the Seattle. So they've pulled it back to a one ship deficit, but they have no caps. And given the time remaining, they really at this point are going to have to sink everything. They won't have enough time to be able to get to caps and turn them and get the points back. Another broadside shot out here on the opposing Montana. Kind of disappointing, only 7,000 in damage, but still it's something. And you can see that the Allied Des Moines and the opposing Yamato are in point-blank range of each other, within probably a couple of kilometers. And the Des Moines is almost down. But his DPM, it looks like he is going... In fact, he does end up winning this fight with the Yamato. So the Des Moines is going to survive. And the Des Moines is going to do something that, in my opinion, is absolutely the right decision. He is going to stay in concealment. I think he does try to go and get the Charlie cap, but at this point, staying alive is the most important thing for him to do. If he can try to fire from concealment on opposing ships, that's fine. Now the Allied Zhao here is... Well, maybe he just felt like at this point, I might as well just get whatever damage I can do. This game is over. Another Demo gets another broadside shot in on the opposing Montana. There's Confederate. That was a much better level of damage than the previous shot he had on the Montana. Now, Demo's called target on the Montana. That's absolutely right. We should be focusing fire. I stand corrected. I don't think the Des Moines tries to go get the cap at this point. That may or may not have been the right... Well, it probably was the right decision to at least stay within concealment, because he's basically just one overpen from death by the Montana. So I think the Des Moines is making the right decision, and their Demo is able to get the killing blow on the opposing Montana. So now something very interesting is happening. The Allied team has brought it back to a one-ship advantage. Now, they still have a huge point gap because they don't have control of any of the caps. And Demo's going to push back down here to provide, further support for Zhao. Now, the Zhao has sent torpedoes on the Georgia. And we do end up losing the Zhao, so now it's back to a 2-on-2. This is a fairly dangerous situation now for Demo because he's in a crossfire situation between the Georgia and I think the other ship was the Montana. But the Georgia makes a fatal turn. And he turns right back into the Zhao's torpedoes, and the Zhao's torpedoes land and take out the Georgia. So now it's just the Montana, and the Montana is overextended. If they stay bow into each other, this could just be a matter of health attrition to see who wins. But Demo knows at this point that his only choice to win the game is to sink the Montana. The Des Moines is making the right choice in my decision to stay in concealment. He's going to try to get some fire on the Montana. Yeah, in fact, you can see fire coming in to help Demo. But Demo is going to make the correct decision here to win the game. In fact, you can hear the cue of the music, so you know that we're winding down. And he wants to make sure that he gets the kill in order to lock up the game. Because again, this is going to be won based on sinking all the opposing ships. This is a little bit like what I think Jingles refers to as winning harder. Once the opposing team had this huge lead, they kind of, to some extent, kind of threw things away. One of their ships should have realized, I should just turn around and run, make sure that we can win this game. And Demo's going to make the right choice in terms of how he does this, because the Kremlin can be deleted in a drive-by, and he wants to ensure that he takes out this Montana. So he is going to go for the ram, and that is absolutely the right decision here. Earn himself Kraken, 180,000 in damage. This is his first outing in the Kremlin. So great job, Demo. Thank you very much for sharing this. And to the excessive one, I hope this was a satisfactory Kremlin replay with good action and good commentary, or as good commentary as I can provide. And I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching. Please do leave your comments below. And as always, we hope to see you out there, and we wish you happy sailing.